What if I told you that all the technology around us has its origins in magic and mythology? Whilst it might not be surprising that a new idea comes from an old one, there is something surprising, strange, and incredible going on here too. In the golden haze of a Texas morning, a massive silver starship stands at its launch tower, poised for a peregrination into the heavens like the ancients could only have dreamed. Crowds of devotees watch in awe. Much like the skyscrapers of Silicon Valley, that launch tower is a wizard's tower. The onlookers are acolytes, and the engineers who possess a knowledge so arcane and far removed from the everyday may as well be high priests. From action at a distance to instantaneous communication and even manufacturing gold, so many ancient mystical dreams are now reality. Watch this video to uncover the sorcery going on all around us. This is MagiTech. The idea that our advanced technology is the manifestation of humanity's oldest magical yearnings. Technology has become a kind of modern alchemy, transforming the wild imaginings of wizards and dreamers into tangible reality. So what is magic? Well, what we call magic is often the unfettered imagination, reaching beyond limits, a proto-science of possibilities. The famous psychologist Carl Jung famously argued that alchemy, the medieval precursor to chemistry, was not really a literal quest to transmute lead into gold. Those were more the actions of scammers who emerged at a later time. But the original alchemy was a symbolic projection of the alchemist's inner psychological transformations. In other words, a projection of imagination onto the material world, which is rich in metaphor and psychological symbolic reality. And even though their experiments failed, this act of imagination laid the groundwork for science which was yet to come. As Jung observed, the rich symbolism of alchemy, fiery furnaces and mystical metals, the quest for the philosopher's stone, was essentially the psyche expressing itself in code. Magic, in this sense, was a way to conceptualize change before science could achieve it. This interplay between imagination and realization finds vivid expression in literature and film, where genres like science fiction and fantasy serve as cultural mirrors for these yearnings. Fantasy literature, from the Lord of the Rings to the Harry Potter series, often depicts magic as an innate spiritual force, wands waving to summon spells, potions brewing in cauldrons, or enchanted rings that grant invisibility, rooted in folklore and myth. In contrast, science fiction, such as Isaac Asimov's Foundation series or Philip K. Dick's many works, grounds its wonders in extrapolated technology, faster-than-light travel, mind-altering devices, or androids that blur the human-machine divide. Yet, as technology advances, the lines blur, echoing Arthur C. Clarke's famous dictum that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. The Philosopher's Stone, which lends its name to the first in the Harry Potter series, was in fact a kind of thought experiment. The idea behind it was that by some fusion of different materials, the alchemists might be able to produce a new material which would have any properties desired. The Philosopher's Stone is essentially a kind of genie. It's something that can do whatever you want it to do. And of course, that same impulse, that same desire finds expression in the way that many people talk about AI as something that can do whatever you want it to do, produce anything on demand, whether that be images, code, or something else. What I'm trying to say here is that humans have a desire to find something like this, and depending on your time and place, that desire can either manifest as a technological wish or a magical wish. The convergence is stark sometimes. I mean, Star Wars blends sci-fi tech like lightsabers with fantasy's mystical force, while The Matrix portrays a simulated reality where code manipulations allow characters to bend physics, much like wizard powers. So I suppose we can say that those old magical visions never died. They merely waited for the right tools. History vindicates Arthur C. Clarke's statement that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Yes, history vindicates him. For millennia, humans told myths of flying through the air on winged chariots or carpets, and now jumbo jets streak across the sky, mundane to the point of tedium. We dreamed of instant communication across vast distances via telepathy or scrying. Well, today, a video call or a WhatsApp message achieves exactly that. Voices and images flung across the globe in milliseconds, as if by magic. It really is hard to overstate how fantastical these feats would have appeared to our ancestors. With a rectangular screen of glass, our era's Black Mirror, we can summon knowledge and visions as readily as John Dee, Queen Elizabeth I's famous court magician, who once summoned angels in his obsidian scrying mirror. Indeed, we really don't realize the vast amount of power that we have all around us by virtue of access to this technology. In fact, even though there is a strange parallel between the Black Mirror used by John Dee, supposedly acquired from Aztec sources which was believed to be a doorway to other worlds, and the phones we carry around today, it's a striking parallel. Our Black Mirrors also serve as portals to remote sights and knowledge, but John Dee could never have dreamed of this. John Dee himself was so relentlessly rational that he couldn't even enter into states where he could communicate with angels himself. Instead, he had to work with local schizophrenic Edward Kelly, who had been charged of many crimes in the past, including to the point of having his ears cut off, which was a punishment for certain crimes in that era. The two of them went on a series of bizarre adventures that perhaps I'll recount in another video. Let me know in the comments if you think I should make the strange adventures of John Dee and Edward Kelly video. Anyway, let us also consider the legend of Gollum in Jewish folklore, a clay man animated by sacred words to serve a rabbi. This tale is arguably the earliest prototype of artificial life, or AI, an artificial servant endowed with a form of intelligence. In most versions, the golem grows uncontrollable and must be deactivated, a warning that resonates uncannily with modern anxieties about AI going rogue. Not to mention the Frankenstein story. The word robot, which means worker, and comes from a play by Karel Čapek, and, well, countless science fiction works all revisit the golem theme. And there are some parallels to the original idea of a zombie, too. Indeed, there are many warnings associated with magic. Most grimoires, that is, books of magical theory, will come with some kind of warning saying that you can lose your mind or worse if you meddle with these things. Well, I think we know now, especially with the research of Jonathan Haidt and many others, that technology has many adverse effects for us, psychologically and socially. So, when Elon Musk says, with artificial intelligence we are effectively summoning the demon or building digital god, he conjures the familiar image of a sorcerer's spell gone awry. Our technological ambition has reached the point where ancient myths feel like the most fitting frame of reference sometimes. I mean, personally, when I speak to AI, especially using voice mode, I really get the sense that I'm speaking with some kind of entity. And I don't mean that literally. I mean that experientially, from the perspective of the user, you're inputting and you are receiving a spontaneous output as if you were talking to an entity. some kind of sprite, imp, or genie. Maybe Azazel. Philip K. Dick, whose sci-fi often probed the eerie intersections of technology and perception, echoed this in a 1972 speech, The Android and the Human, observing that our environment, our man-made world of machines and artificial constructs, is in fact beginning to possess what early psychologists feared the primate saw in his surroundings: animation. For Dick, future tech revives primitive animism, making machines seem quasi-alive in ways that mirror magical thinking, as seen in films like Blade Runner or Ex Machina, where AI's sentience feels like a conjured spirit unbound. Flight, communication, artificial life. To this list we can add longevity. Emperors and alchemists desperately sought the elixir of life or a fountain of youth. Today, billionaires and biotech firms fund anti-aging research and cryonics, chasing medical immortality. That is, once again, using science and technology to make some kind of magical dream into reality. We can add matter transmutation. Medieval alchemists failed to make gold from lead, but modern nuclear science can indeed transform elements. Meanwhile, diamonds are routinely produced in factories. Chemistry routinely synthesizes materials far beyond nature's repertoire, and of course, the dream of omniscience. Many mystical traditions spoke of an Akashic record, a compendium of all knowledge accessible to the enlightened. Well, perhaps that is Wikipedia. The internet now approximates this vision, whether you think it's Wikipedia specifically or not. And that takes me right the way back to a point that I want to keep hammering home, and that is that we take for granted the insane fact that nearly any question can summon an answer on screen as if consulting an all-knowing oracle. The internet has this magical capacity. With a Google ritual, type in a word, and within a few seconds you have the globe's answers to that question or word. For someone in the Middle Ages, this would seem completely magical. It has woven scientific precision and everyday utility around what was once magical, and to some extent, it has robbed these things of their wonder. It is worth marveling at how seamlessly technology has fulfilled these age-old fantasies. So anyway, if technology is akin to magic, then surely its architects are our modern wizards. The tech entrepreneurs and innovators who shape our world exhibit uncanny parallels to wizards of myth, conjuring powerful forces, commanding immense resources, and gathering devoted followers. Take Elon Musk as an exemplar. With his various companies that I don't need to list, and his personal net worth has soared to once unimaginable heights. In effect, he wields economic and creative power comparable to a feudal sorcerer king, allocating resources on a national scale to pursue his vision of the future. And observers note that Musk's unfiltered communiques and stunts have given him this cult-like status among his followers. Psychologists and journalists openly talk of the cult of Elon Musk, comparing his charismatic appeal to that of mythic figures. But this isn't just fandom. It resembles the master-disciple relationship of a guru or the devotees at a wizard's tower, looking to him for vision and guidance. Speaking of towers, it's not hard to notice how our tech wizards do often occupy literal towers. The executives of Silicon Valley and beyond work in gleaming skyscrapers or futuristic campuses that dominate landscapes. Musk's SpaceX Starbase sports a distinct launch tower by the sea, functionally a piece of cosmic apparatus, but visually not unlike a wizard's tool spire awaiting celestial realignment. Jeff Bezos' Seattle Towers, Blue Origin's rocket pads, they all echo the same impulse. And then there is Steve Jobs, remembered as a techno-shaman for channeling human desires into revolutionary gadgets. Jobs deliberately wove spiritual and mythic motifs into Apple. Even the Apple logo itself evokes the fruit of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. But Jobs inverts the narrative. In Apple's gospel, knowledge through technology brings enlightenment, even liberation. This is the Gnostic view of good and evil, where Satan is in fact a benevolent entity who has liberated humanity from the prison of the Garden of Eden, where we were being kept as, I suppose, pets with no autonomy by an evil creator god that they call the Demiurge, who is a separate entity from the god who answers your prayers. Well, if the modern tech leaders are the wizards, then brands and code are their spells and sigils. In occult practice, a sigil is a symbol designed to focus your will and manifest your intentions. How different is this from a corporate logo? Companies spend millions creating simple logos. A bitten apple, a swoosh, a stylized T that encapsulate their ethos and subconsciously influence millions. As comic book writer and chaos magician Grant Morrison observed, the logo or brand, like any sigil, is a condensation, a compressed symbolic summoning of the world of desire which the corporation intends to represent. Corporate logos function as hypersigils, living symbols propagated through culture, seeding desire and loyalty. Think different. Don't be evil. Hey Siri. Ha 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 ha. These are mantras. Mantras too permeate the technological world. In religion or magic, a mantra is a repeated word of power. Furthermore, the magical words are no longer in Latin or another ancient language, but they are in Python or C++, HTML, and JavaScript. Our world, then, is suffused with magic in technological form. We live among symbols and artifacts that ancient magicians only imagined. We carry black mirrors that answer our every query, and we are watched by mechanical eyes. We consult oracles that predict and prescribe. Our algorithms, like Gene, grant wishes and twist them ironically. We inhabit cities of towers, glass spires pulsating with light, each a transmitter of invisible forces. The skyline itself resembles a congregation of wizard towers. Every antenna is a wand aimed at the heavens. This recognition can restore wonder. Seeing technology as the fulfillment of magical imagination reminds us that beneath circuitry lies yearning, creativity, and myth. We are still the same human animal. And every vaccine, every rocket, every algorithm is a realized spell, a victory of mind over matter, but it's also a warning. In myths, hubris undoes the mage. Faust, Icarus, Dr. Frankenstein. Our tools can misfire. Our spells can rebound. AI may become the golem. Social media may become the sorcerer's apprentice's chaos. Climate change, a curse of unintended consequence. So if MagiTech teaches anything, it is that with great enchantment comes great responsibility. To wield such powers wisely, we must remember that our inventions are not neutral. They are expressions of will, imagination, and belief. This is the return of techne. In the end, MagiTech is about the circle completing itself. As W.B. Yeats wrote, science is the fulfillment of ancient prophecy. Aleister Crowley defined magic as the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. What is technology if not that? We speak intentions into code and reality shifts. We have not outgrown magic, we have operationalized it. The esoteric symbols linger in our language. Even Ethereum resurrects the alchemist's ether. Beneath the jargon, we remain sorcerers at heart. So next time you unlock your phone, feel the magic in your hand. A prophecy has been fulfilled. A spell made silicon. The ancients dreamed and we delivered. The question now is whether we can master our own sorcery. Technology is the magical dream made real, and the dreamers at last are awake. Terence McKenna used to say that the internet would be this free, open intercommunication, a kind of utopia, but we all know it's become a dystopia. Those old school internet ethics died out. Now every site is full of pop-ups, data grabs, and forcing you to make an account. And we don't do any of that. That's the whole point. This was first created amongst a team, and we decided to make it public because it's just so useful. All the code is open source. If you have any use for any of these things, image resizing, audio trimming, and small caps, etc., I think that our site could be quite a useful tool for you, and it's also downloadable as an app. It's tools.apolloniani.uk.